Hi, this is Channing Humphrey with Semi Pro Live, and we are back for the 8U CCE draft. I've got my guy Courtney with me again. He's going to go ahead and tell us a little bit more about CCE, and then we're going to hop straight into it. So, Coach, tell us a little bit more about this program that you've been running here.
CCE is a place where the elite come to compete, and we specialize in trying to magnify what kids are doing positively in youth football, and encourage them that competition and being competitive is the number one way of getting better, and being able to use it as a measuring stick to see where you are commensurate to your peers. So we have numerous events that we do throughout the year, whether it's doing our Who's Number One preseason tournament, whether it's doing 7-on-7 lineman challenges, hogs versus dogs, whether it's our top 100 combines, our um, end of the year all-star game, and then our college football, our middle school college football exposure camps. And we do all that for a magazine that we produce every year called the Top 100 Youth Prospects magazine. And it's just fun, man. It's fun. It's competitive, and I think it's nothing like it out there that encompasses all the things that we encompass with CCE with the kids. And so this year will be our sixth year of doing it. We're back in Dallas, and I'm excited. We're in the 8U draft.
All
8U
right,
draft.
then. Well, let's get straight to the business. I'm going to go ahead and start off with Team Power will be our first team of the draft. The coaching staff will consist of Coach Lowe, Coach Ron, and Coach Tony Ritchie. So, Coach, tell me about this coaching staff that you've assembled here.
Coach Lowe, man, is somebody who does basketball and football, but Lowe is world renowned in the Oak Cliff area, being tied into. Excuse me, I got to sneeze and it's coming. But being tied into the Oak Cliff Titans organization, he is somebody, man, who has supported CCE through 7-on-7 combines and everything else, and also participating in our coaching in our All Star. So he's a great coach, both the football and basketball. Coach Ron, I met a couple years ago. He's out of
He
New
is
Orleans. He's
somebody, man,
won.
who is
He's won a lot. He knows all the kids. And Coach Tony Ritchie is with the DFW League, man. He's a talented coach. And I know I need to write this down right now before I forget, because I forgot to add one player. So before we get started on those names, I want to make sure that I get that name in there, and I'll put it at the end of this list just so that to make sure that you guys have it. But you can start rolling them off.
All right. Well, like Coach said, let's get straight to the business. We're going to start off with the quarterback group, no particular draft order. We're going to have Bentley Dewan. He's a quarterback slash DB from the Tampa Packers. We're going to have Michael James. He's a quarterback from Pac Prime. Chris Hegarty. He's a quarterback slash linebacker from the Oak Cliff Titans. We're going to have Harlem Sterling. He's a offensive defensive lineman from the Oak Cliff Dolphins. Christopher Sanchez, he's an offense and defensive lineman from one of my favorite teams, the Beast Boys. Dylan Williams, he's a center from New Orleans. Donald Robinson, he's a defensive end from Michigan City. Giovante Lincoln, he's a defensive lineman and offensive lineman from the TNS Panthers out of Fort Worth, Texas. Amma Brown is a D lineman, offensive lineman from the Sin City Black Wolves. LeBron Farmer, he's an offensive defensive lineman from the Michigan City Wolves. Chase Hartfield, he's a offensive and defensive lineman from Fort Worth, Texas. Daniel Bush II is a linebacker from the North Texas Bills. And we have, Darius White, who is a linebacker from the Houston area. Hester Shields, the third, is a linebacker from the Oak Cliff Titans. And Karan Davis is a running back from the OG Ducks. Caden Jongan, Coach, did I pronounce that correctly?
Jonigan.
Jonigan, correction. Caden Jonigan, He is a running back from the Saints. And we've got Dominic Jackson. He's a running back from California. Tyler Perkins. He's a running back from Houston, Texas. Destin Mahad, correction. He's a running back and linebacker from the DFW Elite. Roland Houston is a scat back. Well, excuse me, he's Roland Houston the fifth. Let me get that correct. He's a scat back from the Raiders. Dakota Graham is a running back slash linebacker from Louisiana. Curtis Jackson is a wide receiver slash DB from the Montgomery Gators. And I got my guy, Channing Smith, the wide receiver slash DB from the Fort Worth Pack Prime out of Fort Worth, Texas. Kason Pitts from SED is a wide receiver slash defensive back. Dawson Thomas is a wide receiver slash defensive back from the Pearland Hurricanes. James Johnson the third is a DB slash wide receiver from the New Orleans Dolphins. And Trent Heights is a slot back from the Yukon Bulldogs. Luciano Escobardo is a offense and defensive lineman from Fort Worth United. Did I get that right, Coach? That last
Luciano
name? Escobedo. Luciano Escobedo is a offense and defensive lineman from Fort Worth United. Help me out with this next one, Coach, from Team Grindhouse.
Eshawn Craddock.
Eshawn Craddock. He is a tight end slash defensive end from Grindhouse. Jordan Brister is a defensive end from Houston, Texas. Noah Wright is a scat back from Burleson, Texas. And Miser Lou is an athlete from one of my favorite teams, NDU. Coach, tell us about this draft.
And then you got Glenn Ritchie, the third, at the bottom of that list.
Glenn Ritchie the third. And what organization is he held from, Coach?
DFW Elite.
From the DFW Elite. And Coach, tell me about that draft.
So just starting it off, man. The quarterback they drew is Bentley DeLon, and he is special. He's super special. And I'm saying it in a calm way. I'm trying to be very calm today in speaking, but he's talented, man. He's white chocolate. He was in the New Orleans area playing with Slidell last year, but he moved just recently to Tampa, and now he's playing with the Tampa Packers. You got Malachi James from Pack Prime and Chris Haggerty from Oak Cliff Titans. Chris Haggerty is a new kid who's playing quarterback, but he's putting in the work to be good at the spot. So you got three really solid quarterbacks. And I got the hiccups for some reason. Maybe I'm nervous. Harlem Sterling is a road grader. Christopher Sanchez opens up holes. Dylan Williams is a dog on that O-line. Donald Robinson is a pass hunter. Giovanni Lincoln from TNS. So you got to deal with him. You really got to deal with that kid out of TNS. I think I cut off Ima Brown's name when I was coming it over because I don't think it's Ima Brown, but out of Sin City. And I don't want to have any kid not be mentioned.
Hey, if we mess up the name of the kid, I'll find you during the event and we're going to give you an interview.
And
at the least.
And his name is Caden Brown, not Ima Brown.
Caden Brown. And sorry about that, Caden. And whenever you're at CCE, we're going to seek you out, man. We'll get an interview with you to make up for the mistake. And that goes for all the other kids.
Caden Brown is from Nevada. And when I saw his film, you just had to invite him. This kid can move on both sides of the ball, and he plays nasty. LeBron Farmer, he has a name of LeBron, so you know he's already predestined for greatness, and you need to witness his greatness. He's out of Michigan City, Indiana. Chase Hartsfield is from Fort Worth, and he's nice with it. And what I'm looking at on this line, because we grouped them together, lineman. They got a lot of physical linemen. So it looks like they're going to try to run the ball. Then they go with Daniel Bush, the linebacker from North Texas Bills. Diana's White from Houston, Heiser Shields III from Oak Cliff Titans, Carryon Davis, the running back from the OG Ducks. Carryon Davis might be a first round draft pick at 8 if they allow first round draft. They allowed 8-year olds to be drafted. That's how special he is. He was the MOP of the tournament, and they were able to get him. So that's definitely going to help out with trying to get home on some plays. Dominique Jackson from California. You got Caden Jonigan from Gorietta Saints. So you got California, New Orleans, California with Dominique Jackson. Then you got Tylen Perkins from Houston. And then you have Destin Motti from DFW Lead, another good talented running back. And then you go back and you go to Baton Rouge again for
Got some South Texas kids in here.
Roland Houston. And then you go to Dakota Graham. And Dakota Graham is another kid. Rest in peace, his father, Bubba Graham. His son, Mason Graham, is a DEA player, but Bubba Graham lost his life to COVID, man, a couple months ago. And, some of the conversations I just remember him having was that he already had his older kid in, but he said, my younger kid is coming along. I want him in the game. And this was last year. So, we definitely want to make sure that they can be able to make it this year. It won't be a charge at all. I'm in there to it. So Dakota Graham has been drafted. I'm going to reach out to the parents to make sure that they understand it, to the mother, make sure she understands it. My hats just go off to them, man, with this COVID. And anybody who's lost somebody to COVID, my hats go off to them. But you have 3 Louisiana running backs, 2 California running backs, a Dallas running back, and a Houston running back. It's no coincidence that you have a Dallas coach, you have Dallas coaches, and you have New Orleans coaches. I mean, they did a really good job of spreading that talent around. And then you go into Curtis Jackson out of Montgomery, Alabama, who can get lost with anybody. Then you go to Channing Smith, another big-time receiver from Pac Prime. Kason Pitts can play both sides of the ball well from SCD. Dawson Thomas, and James Johns are 2 highly quality DB receivers, receiver DBs. At that age, they're either one from Pearland Hurricanes and New Orleans Dolphins. Then you got Trent Heights from Yoakum. Luciano Escobedo was another lineman taken for Fort Worth United. Eshawn Craddock is playing quarterback, can play tight end, can play defensive end. He's a very, very talented, versatile player. Jordan Brister is another pass rushing end. Noah Wright is a scat back. Mr. Lou is an athlete. And then you got Glenn Ritchie, who's another DB/rover type player. Good draft. Good draft. I think that this team is going to be based off of, man, they're going to try to get home, man. I mean, the quarterback is one of the fastest kids around. One of their quarterbacks is, and then they have, like I say before, some road grader linemen. And they're going to open up some holes. They're going to open up some serious holes.
All right. Without further ado, we're going to move on to the next coaching staff. The next team we have up for this 8U draft will be Team Witnessed. And this team, and you know what? We didn't start with Power, so let's do Power and Witness. What's going to be the 2 Texas universities that represent these 2 brands?
Well, we just did Power, right?
Yes, sir.
Powers represent SMU. They're going to have blue jerseys, white pants.
All right, that would be a nice look. So let's get to the current team, which is Team Witness. Who will they be represented by?
Cam Moblin, Gary Gone Grind, and then Coach Crossley.
Coach Crossley.
Yeah, and so, that's a lot of TNS flavor. It's all North Texas, kind of like flavor. But they did a dang good job of drafting kids from everywhere, man. 'Cause that's what it's about. We don't really want it to be to where you're taking your whole team. We want you to be a blessing to other people. It's evident from that TNS name and the background of what they've done and everything that they definitely know how to coach football. So we want to be able to spread that love around, and it's nothing better than beating your own, man. It's a beautiful thing when you can show them that you are the sensei, and they are the student and you are the man. You know what I'm saying? So Cam Moblin, Gary Gone Grind is out of the Dallas area. His kids are older, but they are still, he wants to be a part of the game still and give back. And he's going to give that Dallas Oak Cliff feel to it. And then you got Coach Crossley, who works side by side really, really well already with Coach Cam Moblin. Good staff.
All right, Coach. What Texas University will represent this team?
Texas A&M gig 'em. They'll be in
All
maroon
right.
jerseys, white pants.
Well, without further ado, let's get to the stars of the show. So we're gonna start off with the quarterback group. Now, none of these are in any particular order. So we got Neheim Evans. He's a quarterback from the Bulls. We've got Jaron Webb, a quarterback from TNS. We got Landon Singleton. He's a quarterback from SED out of the Pleasant Grove area. We've got England. He is a offensive and defensive lineman from the Vernon Lions. We've got Romeo Powell, an offensive and defensive lineman from TNS out of Fort Worth. Aiden Williams, an offensive and defensive lineman out of Houston, Texas. Curtis Scott, he is an offensive and defensive lineman from SED out of Dallas. Aiden Williams, he is an offensive and defensive lineman from Houston, Texas. And now, is there two Aiden Williams? That might have been a typo on our part. But we got Braden Austin. He's an offensive and defensive lineman from TNS. We've got Chase Tillery. He's an offensive and defensive lineman from the New Orleans Dolphins. We've got Jules Bivens. He's a defensive end from SED out of Dallas. Jaden Jones is a outside linebacker slash defensive end. Great skill set from the Pac Prime from Fort Worth. We've got Dermon Smith. He is a tight end slash linebacker from SED. Kashmir Ellis Harrison. He is a linebacker from the great state of Kansas. We've got Aaron Courtney Jr. He is a running back from the Gainesville Gators. Aiden, help me with that last name, Coach. Is Etheridge? Yeah, Aiden Etheridge. Sorry about that. Coach might have had my sound blocked out. Aiden Etheridge, and he is a running back slash safety from the Tiny Titans. Cedric Holloway, he is a running back from Oak Grove, Mississippi. Terrence Hammonds, he is a running back from GMT Hurricanes. Quentin Stajan, he is a running back from the North Texas Bills. Larry Medano, he is a scat back from the CCE Tornadoes out of Corpus Christi. And we've got Aiden Harris, a scat back from the TNS Panthers. Trey Najaku, a wide receiver slash DB from the Pac Prime. And we've got Major Fields, a wide receiver slash DB from the KC Dynasty. Kingston Clay, a DB slash wide receiver from the Bossier Stingham. King Hutchison, he is a wide receiver slash cornerback from Pac Prime. Braxton Warner is a DB slash wide receiver from NDU. We've got Aiden Jones, a slot receiver from TNS. Alex Oliveras, he is a offensive lineman from the Houston Crew slash ABN. Legend Montgomery, he is a fullback slash defensive end from TNS. Dalvin Brent, who is a defensive end slash tight end from TNS. And we have Asher Salcedo, who is a scat back from Rockwall, Texas. Ronnie Clark, who is an athlete. And we have Colton Mills, who is a athlete from Rockwall, Texas. So, Coach, tell me about this team.
Well, when you got a good team and kids are on the board, they're going to get taken. I remember a couple years ago, DFW Elite was loaded, and I witnessed this the other day with SED. When people are taking your player, taking your player, they're just getting good teams have good players, and people want to coach good teams, want to coach good players. And so you started out with Nehemiah Evans. I cannot Oki Chobi Bulls. He's a bad boy. I can tell you that. And you find in these kids, and I keep on going back to every time when you find the kids in Florida, which that's where he's from in Florida. You find these kids in Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, Washington, California. You don't find them if they're not talented. They're ultra talented players. Jaron Webb is a monster, man. He's a big time player. And then you have Landon Singleton, three really, really good quarterbacks. Really good quarterbacks, man. Riley England is out of with the Vernon Lions. I think that's in New York, uh, and he is somebody that I felt like, man, he needs to be here to see this competition, experience this competition, and showcase his talent in that setting. Um, and he's out of actually, I'm sorry, out of not out of he's out of East Texas. Vernon Lions out of East
Okay.
Texas. I apologize for that. But he needs to be here, because sometimes in those smaller cities or those out of state areas, you run into the situation where the kids are not seeing that talent levels that the Dallas is the Miami's, the LA areas possess, and you want them seeing that those major city areas. Romeo Powell is a road grader. I like him a whole bunch. I was able to see him earlier this year. Aiden Williams is nice. Katarius Scott is a bad boy from SCD. Aiden Williams opens up holes, closes holes. Braden Austin is another good quality lineman. Then you got Chance Tillery out of New Orleans Dolphins. And then you got a pass rusher who can hold the edge, and Jaden Jones from Pac Prime, and Joel Bivens, who is a DN who can hold it. So they got two really nice ends. Demarion Smith is a nice tight end. So you start to see that SCD, start seeing that TNS roll to it. You got Cashmere Ellis Harrison from Kansas, who can run and tackle. Aaron Courtney from Gainesville, Florida. Once again, those running backs. Well, first of all, Florida has talent. The talent Florida has is second to none. And then you got Aiden Etheridge, a kid last year,
Texas.
man, who I was enamored by. This kid is a big time player in Aiden Etheridge. Cedric Holloway is a bad boy from Mississippi. Then you got Terrence Hammonds from Florida, Quentin Stogan, North Texas Bills, Lyric Madrano, Corpus Christi, a scat back, Aiden Harris from TNS, another scat back. So the backfield is set. I can see them having packages, man, where they want to go spread and have a package with the scat backs in. When they want to do this, they got this backfield set in. And then they got one of the most electrifying he's like Jairus. He's like Jairus' little brother. They remind me of each other. Trey Njoku. I cannot pronounce that last name, but I can say Trey the Truth. Trey with money. Trey Day. He is that guy from
Oh,
Pac Prime.
I owe Trey a baseball card, man. I got you, Trey. I had to make sure I had two of them.
Yeah.
So when I see you
Major
at CCE,
Major Fields is a kid from Kansas City Dynasty, man, that can get lost, throw him a hitch, and it ends up 70 yards down the field. Kingston Clay is a big time DB receiver from out of the Louisiana, the Bossier Stingham. King Hutchison. It's a lot of kings, man, and big timers royalty in this group. You got King Hutchison from Pac Prime, Braxton Warner from NDU, lockdown defender and a big time offensive player. Aiden Jones from TNS, slot receiver. Alexa Oliveris. I think she's still with Crew, but she's a lineman. Legend Montgomery, fullback DN, another guy that's going to definitely be able to get after the quarterback and then blow up some holes on offense. Davion Brent, another DN tight end. That's like a TNS connection they were able to get right there. Asher Salcido from Rockwall is another kid that can play in space. Ronnie Clark is an athlete from the Houston area, Manville. And then Coach Mills, who's an offensive skill player from Rockwall. This is a very, very deep group. We decided to only do 4 teams on 8U. We could have tried to stretch ourselves thin and do 6 teams, but I was worried about if we were going to be able to have enough linemen to try to do that. So that's the reason why we only did 4 teams.
all right, Coach.
We're looking to have about 26 kids on each team.
All right, well, that'll finish up Team Witness. So we're going to slide over to Team Greatness. What Texas University will be representing Team Greatness?
Throw your guns up. Texas Tech.
Guns up. All right, so the coaching staff for this AU team will be Josh Black and Coach Keller. Tell us about this coaching staff.
Yeah, Josh Blackman, we're still hoping we can get DeMarcus Alexander on there. There is a competitive, another football event that's going on the same weekend in another state that has it to where there's some confliction between parents on doing that or doing CCE. And you know what I say, always do CCE. It's about the
Roll with the
kid.
best.
Yeah, it's about the kid, but but some kids are doing that, and I think that if we don't get DeMarcus Alexander there and his son there, then we drop the ball for a second year. That's how talented of a coach he is, and that's how talented and how special of a son that he has. But we definitely wanted to include him in the draft. Not every kid in the draft is obligated, nor have they said that they're guaranteed they're going to play. These are the kids that we um, have recognized and have desires of them playing. We are still looking for other kids based off of position. So, you have Coach Josh Black and you have Todrick Keller, two highly qualified coaches who get the job done. They know X's and O's. They know the kids, and they're going to coach their butt off, man. So I'm just ready to see this team. Texas Tech, they're going to be in that black and red. Going to look nice too.
All right, well, let's get to the stars. We're going to start off with the quarterback group, no particular order. We're going to have DeMarcus Alexander Jr., quarterback, free safety, GBT, Messiah Gallion, quarterback, Pearland Hurricanes, Landon Singleton, quarterback, SED, Paul Spearman, he's a defensive lineman, GBT, Lamal Spearmount, he's a offense and defensive lineman, GBT, Michael
They're
Freeman.
twins.
Oh, they're twins, all right. Brothers down in the offensive line. I wish I could have cloned my youngest and made him twice. But all right, some people get to do that. Ladarius Sanders, center, DFW Elite, Romeo Nunez, offense and defensive lineman, Pac Prime out of Fort Worth, Zylan McDonald, he's a defensive end from the Gainesville Gators, Aiden, and help me with this last name, Coach, out of the Oklahoma City Truth, offense and defensive lineman.
Oakland, Adrian Illigasius, or what's he
Adrian
called?
Iglesias, offense and defensive lineman, Oklahoma City Truth. Iglesias, sorry about that. Adrian Iglesias, offense and defensive lineman from the Oklahoma City Truth. Nicholas Jeffries, he's a defensive end and tight end from the Abilene Bucks. Rain Pinkston, a linebacker from TCU. Caden Woods, a defensive end and linebacker from the great state of Kansas. King Lockett, a linebacker from SED. Waffle House Burton, power back, the Vegas Knights. And I'm going to hope, well, he's Waffle House, man, so he doesn't do pancakes. He might be putting him on the back on defense. Kedrick Brown, running back, Pac Prime. Sean Williams, black, running back, DB, Oklahoma City Truth. And Coach, help me out with this name for the Las Vegas Strong. I believe it's Mokaboy. I'm not gonna do that, Coach. Help me out.
Man, yeah, I would just say Mocha Boy. Just say Bad Boy.
Bad boy coming out from the Vegas Strong. He'll be out here to tell me in person. I'm going to do an interview with you. We'll get it right. And then, lost my place. Then we have Iron Duckworth. He's a scat back from the Southside Ducks. We've got Dalen Garrett. He's a running back from NDU. Christian Fuldo. He's a scat back and cornerback from TCU. Trace Bridges, he's a wide receiver / DB from Louisiana. Ryan Edwards, he's a wide receiver / DB from the Georgia Eagles. Jonathan Robinson, Jonathan Robinson. I know it, Jonathan. Sorry about that. Jonathan Robinson, he is a wide receiver and DB from I Am Saints. And we've got Raiden Morgan, a DB / wide receiver from California. Jace Wilson, a free safety wide receiver from Houston. Jace Turner, a slot receiver from NDU. Josiah Robinson, he is a offense and defensive lineman from the Clean Cove Chiefs. Braylon Brown, he is a offense and defensive lineman for Fort Worth, Texas. Jace Terry, he's a defensive end, tight end from the DFW Elite. Hunter Herrera, who is a linebacker, power back from one of my favorite teams, the Beast Boys. And Laird
Madrano.
Madrano, he is a running back from the Corpus Christi Tornadoes, another one of those South Texas teams. So, Coach, tell us about this squad.
Well, they got three really good quarterbacks. You got the Hurricanes, you got GBT, and you got SED. All three quarterbacks possess the talent, man, to take over a game by themselves. DeMarcus Alexander Jr., Nasai Galium, Landon Singleton. You can't talk about the talents of DeMarcus Alexander Jr. without mentioning some of the linemen that he has. And two of those linemen are Paul and Lamal Spearman. Every time I see them, I just give them a hug. They're going to make their parents really, really rich one day. They possess that kind of lineman talent and toughness. Michael Freeman Jr. is another kid where it seemed like they were pairing up players to get that cohesiveness. So you got Michael Freeman Jr. and you got LaMarcus Sanders from DFW Elite, which is a center. Then you got Romeo Nunez from Pac Prime. Then they went and got a pass rush specialist in Zylan McClendon from Gainesville Gators. This kid, man, looks like Javon Curse, man. I'm telling you. Adrian Iglesias is another lineman that's going to open up holes for you from OKC Truth, which helps out with Coach Black because they have that familiarity. And then you have Rain Pinkston, a linebacker who can tackle anything around there. You got Nicholas Jeffries, another defensive end that can, and tight end from the Abilene Bucks. Caden Woods, another tight end from Kansas. King Lockett, a tackling machine from SED. And then they go off in the running backs, and they went big boy running backs early. It might be cold, man. When it's cold and you got big boy running backs, people don't like to hit big boys in the cold. And this kid name is Kalani Waffle House Burden. Waffle House. Waffle House. Waffle House Burden. Then you have Kendrick Brown from Pac Prime, who could turn the corner on anybody. Sean Williams Black, coach's son from OKC Truth, used to be a quarterback. Then you got another Vegas Nigerian nightmare type of player, big, strong, physical. And Moken Boy, I can't pronounce his name, but I can tell you his game is nice. Then you got a scat back in Ira Duckworth, who played last year, who could do the thing with the Southside Ducks. Dalen Garrett is another talented running back from NDU. Then you got another scat back from the Fort Worth area in Christian Polito. So you got a good set of backs. You got versatility. You got it for the cold. You got it for the spread. You got it for any kind of package you desire. You have the backs that can be able to bang their head against the goalpost and do things. Receiving wise, Tyrus Bridges from Louisiana, Ryan Edwards, Georgia Eagles, Jonathan Robinson, I Am Saints, Raylan Morgan, California. Man, they went and got true all-star receivers. They didn't say we care about the local thing. It's probably one of the top kids out of each one of their regions. They went and got in the draft in there to it. So those quarterbacks, I don't know if you throw the ball out at 7. But I can tell you at 8. If you're not throwing the ball, you're tripping because there's some receivers out there. And then you got DB Raylan Morgan, California. You have free safety Jace Wilson from Houston, Jace Turner from NDU, Josiah Robinson, another big lineman from Killeen Cove, Braylon Brown, another big lineman from Fort Worth. Jace Terry, kid who's played in CCE for a couple years, who's talented. He'll be playing defensive end, tight end for DFW Elite. Hunter Herrera, another linebacker, big body kid who could play fullback as well from the Beast Boys. And then you ended off with Lyric Madrano from the Corpus Christi Tornadoes. Talent on there, talent on the team. And to me, it's parity, man, because it's all going to be predicated off of how well these coaches package these kids together and utilize their talent. But everybody has some talent on that team, man. It's just about how the coaches are going to use them.
Most definitely. That's an exciting draft, but it's time to get over to the next one. Now, the last team is going to be represented by the University of Baylor. What team will this be, Coach?
Team Money!
Money team in the green. So I'm going to go ahead and introduce the coaching staff. We're going to have Kerry Lewis II, Jerry Barr, and Ricky Bradford. Tell us about these men.
So you should have had that song on there, We Gonna Get Money.
We don't own the rights.
Should have had that on there. Young boy, fresh, but yeah. Anyways, you got Kerry Lewis III, Kerry Lewis II. I had the privilege of coaching his oldest son, Kerry Lewis III. You got Jerry Barr, man. If you don't know who Jerry Barr is and you're in Texas football, youth football, you tripping. He's out of that Austin area. Did the Austin Steelers for a long period of time. He's coached a lot of the Austin talented players that have come out the area. Then you got Ricky Bradford, somebody, man, who you gotta acknowledge. The sucker can coach, and he has a good group. They started off rocking in last year with that 7-on-7 out of Oklahoma City, and man, they nice. And so that DFW Elite, Austin, Oklahoma, they finna run down I-35 and whoop some butt. They finna try to run down I-35 and whoop a lot of butt. That's my thought process to putting those three coaches together. I'm not sure if they've ever been in a room together, but I can promise you this, that's a nice threesome of coaches right there.
Well, without further ado, let's get to the stars. We've got Julian Cure. He's a quarterback, King Bears out of Kansas City. We've got Quavon Gaston. He's an athlete from the DFW Elite. We've got Ramels Harris Jr. He is a quarterback from the New Orleans Dolphins. We got Kentrell McCoy. He's an offensive defensive lineman from Blackburn. We've got David Kidd. He's a center from Next Level. Raiden Horn, a offense and defensive lineman from the DFW Elite. Gregory High, he's a defensive lineman and offensive lineman from TNS out of Fort Worth. We got Makai Hudson, a defensive end from SED. Excuse me. We got Jerry Smith, a offense and defensive lineman from TNS. We've got Noah Arment. He's a offense and defensive lineman from Burleson. Excuse me. One more time, Coach. Excuse me. Ooh. All right, back to the list, and I'm so sorry. Let me find where I stopped. We've got Jesse Torres Jr. He is a defense and offensive lineman from the Killeen Chiefs. We've got Jamel Jones, a linebacker from the Wichita King Bears. We've got Glenn Ritchie III, a running back from the DFW Dogs. We've got Kendrick Smith, a linebacker from Killeen. Trendon the Man-Child Meadows, a running back slash linebacker from Fort Worth Pack Prime. Aiden Gardner, a running back from the Oklahoma City Truth. Mark West, a running back slash linebacker from the DFW Elite. Marshawn Muffet, he's a running back from TNS. Ethan Brown, a running back slash DB from the Southside Junior Lions from Louisiana. We've got Tristan Huth. He is a running back slash DB from the North Texas Mustangs. Devondre West. He is a scat back from TCU. We've got Cruz Pierre, a running back slash cornerback from New Orleans Dolphins. We've got Carter Cook, a wide receiver slash DB from the Southfield Falcons. Jason Ross, a DB slash wide receiver from the DFW Elite. Bryson Grinder, a DB slash wide receiver from the El Paso Sharks, and Bryson Castello, a slot receiver from Rockwall. Jade Turner, a defensive end slash tight end from NDU. Dion Haley, a offensive and defensive lineman from the DFW Elite. Zachary Tolbert, a offensive lineman from Grindhouse. Christian Hamilton, an athlete slash cornerback from TNS out of Fort Worth. Jason Reith Hickman, a offensive lineman from Houston, Texas, and Amari Rose, a linebacker from NDU. Coach, tell me about this team.
It's talented as well. I like the quarterbacks. The quarterbacks are from different states. Yeah, one from Texas, one from Louisiana, and one from Kansas. I think two of the three participated last year, so they understand what it takes. All of them are so versatile that they can play other positions while they're not in the game, which helps out with anybody's coaching staff. I'm sorry, my allergies are kind of talking to me a little bit, you guys.
One of those days.
But you have Julian Curry from the King Bears of Kansas. You got Jaquavian. I think they call him Sleepy or something like that, man. He's nice. DFW lead. I was able to watch him a couple times last year. Haven't been able to catch many games this year. Romalis Harris from the New Orleans Dolphins is the third quarterback. Then you got Kentrell McCoy out of Blackburn. David Kidd, the center from Next Level Predators. I'm not sure if he's with the Predators this year. Then you got Raiden Horn, a DFW elite kid. Then you got Gregory High from TNS, a dog, one of the best players in that on the interior line, period. Mekhi Hudson, he was unblockable last year with in the CCE game from SED. Then you have Jarea Smith from TNS, another big body lineman that will open up holes. Nolan Armenta from Burleson, Jesse Torrance from Killeen Chiefs, who did a great job last year. Jamil Jones from Wichita, Kansas. So you got the King Bears combination right there. Dianis White, which was a misprint. I had Dianis White on the first team of Team Power. He was actually drafted to Team Baylor because there was a mistake in the parent and the coach, et cetera, et cetera. So we had to get that changed over. Jamil Jones is another Wichita Kings kid. Kendrick Smith is from Killeen, another Killeen kid. Linebacker, can run. Then you got the man-child. I saw this kid in LA, man, and I've seen numerous workout videos, but every time I see this kid, I want to dap him up and just tell him how impressed I am with his dedication to being great. And then his productivity on the field in Trendon Meadows. He's a bad boy. He used to be in Mansfield, I think at Grindhouse or whatever it was last year. But now he's with Pac Prime and one of the top teams in the country. You got Aiden Gardner, who is a monster in himself. OKC Truth. I've seen these two guys go head to head. Then you got Mark West, another elite running back from DFW Elite. Marshawn Moffitt from TNS. Ethan Brown from the Southside Junior Lions out of Louisiana. Tristan Huff, North Texas Mustangs, running back DB. And Devondre West from TCU. That's 7 running backs. I know they say 7. They play so many different positions, but they're all so unique, man. That's a nice set of backs. You can talk. You don't have to throw the ball at all. But let's say if you want to throw the ball, this is who you can throw the ball to. You got Cruz Pierre, New Orleans Dolphins. Carter Cook, Southfield Falcons out of Michigan. He's nice. Jason Ross, DB receiver from DFW Elite. Bryson Grinder, El Paso Sharks. Then you got another Bryson Castillo, slot Rockwall. Jay Turner, NDU, defensive end, tight end. He gets the job done. He's athletic. Dion Haley, another lineman from DFW Elite. Zachary Tolbert from Grindhouse. Christian Hamilton, TNS. Man, he can play corner. He's going to return some kickoffs. He's going to get some carries on offense. He is a playmaker. He's been around in our game for 3 or 4 years now. Jason Rhett Hickman is another kid that can open up holes. And then you ended off with a tackling machine from NDU and Amari Rose. I like that. I like that team. I like the coaching staff. I think that it meshes well. Like I said before, 4 teams going for one set of rings. I don't know who it'll be, but I can tell you that there's nobody who should leave saying we didn't have a chance at winning based off of the talent assembled, because everybody has a talented team.
Most definitely, most definitely. An exciting draft. Can't wait to see it on the field as we're going to have some of the top 8U athletes in the country. Now, just to give people some updates, we're not done with the CCE drafts. We got 2 more left. We got 7U and 6U coming to you live tomorrow at starting at 3 o'clock Central Time, and then we'll probably have the second one around 6 o'clock Central Time as well.
And if
But
we can't
until
get that, if we can't get that 6U draft in, because I'm still looking for 6U players. If we can't get that 6U draft in, then we'll have to move it to the weekend or something.
You hit up Pop Green yet?
I have, but like I told you, some of those kids are doing things in another thing.
Pop, let us borrow some kids, man. You got a whole bunch of them, man. We just need like 30. Hold it down. Well, either way, man, it's a great event. It's going to be action-packed. Some of the top talent from all over the country. Make sure you tune in. Other news on Semi-Pro Live, we're going to be live from all over this weekend. If you're still looking to have your event booked, hit us up, and we will have Baby Gronk. Yes, Baby Gronk will have his first ever live stream football game live on Semi-Pro Live. So he's a controversial figure. Some people love him, some people don't like him. Tune in to see if he's the real deal. But anything outside of that, Coach, you have anything you want to add to this for me?
No, man, y'all have been great. Y'all have been great.
Thank you so much, Coach. We'll see you guys tomorrow on Semi-Pro Live.